Hey, and welcome. Hey, you guys. I hope that my audio is right. Microphone check 1 2. I can hear myself. I don't even know why I'm doing that. I was doing a little mic check. I'll turn the music down. Hopefully the audio is okay. That's what I'm most scared about when I do the pre-recorded through StreamYard, because I can't hear myself. I probably could have put some headphones in, but I don't really want to at this point. Last time it was my throat. This time it's my nose. Allergy season is kicking your girls behind. But happy Friday. Welcome back. We're here for the Ultimatum South Africa episodes 4 through 6. I appreciate you guys being patient with me. Thank you to all the people that watch episodes 1 through 3. I hope that you're back for 4 to 6. Like I said, I appreciate your patience because I know some YouTubers, and kudos to you guys, can, binge watch it, not take any notes, and get up here and do a video. That's not your girl. I can binge watch, but then I can't just get up here and give you 9 episodes. Like, my brain don't work that way. So I got notes on top of notes on top of notes, and hopefully I can sort this whole thing out, baby, because it is a mess. Okay, let me tell you. So we pick up, it's week 2 of the trial marriage. There's just a couple of things going on. Kanya and Isaac, they're kind of doing a truth or dare where they do a lap dance. Now, where we left off, I believe at the end of episode 3, I was kind of feeling like, I think that was episode 3, something may have happened between the two of them. We didn't get to an answer on that, or at least not the answer I thought we were going to get by the end of episode 6. But you guys get that in the comments and let me know what you think. Do you think Kanya, who I might add is a piece of work? Kanya is not a real person, y'all. Kanya is like the people that we have our scripted series based upon, like the villain, Queen Bee, but not really a queen. She's a lot. Anywho, let me know what you think about those two. Genesis and Courtney are kind of like going through the motions. He asked her if she's attracted to him, and she admits that she is. They're attracted to each other, but she said she's had trust issues from childhood. Not to spoil anything, because I'm sure you guys have watched this, or if not, by the time we get to the end of episode 6, I don't know, and I do believe I have it in my note, that Courtney kind of gave the experiment her all, or maybe that's actually how you're supposed to do the experiment. I could be wrong. Again, that's another thing you can debate with me or not debate with me. You can give me your opinion on it in the comments. Tabby and Lindile, child, they look good together. I wish I have a picture of the OG couples. I wish I was able to get a picture of the trial couples, or our new couples, if you will, but work was working, and I had other shows to cover, like Summer House Martha's Vineyard. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and check that out. I got to do the Never Ever Met, so I will probably get episode 7 to 9 up to you guys on Sunday. So again, I appreciate your patience. I was rushing because I thought this Friday they were going to drop the reunion, but it's next Friday, and I was grateful. I'm like, okay, I'm glad I broke it up into 3. Anyway, here we are, you girls rambling. So, Tabby is calling Lindile a caretaker. Yes, I do the cooking. Yes, I do the cleaning. And she says that they're falling for each other. I don't mind looking at these two together. Like I said, he's not too hard on the eyes. I kind of wonder what his real issue is. What's wrong with you, sir? You wanted to get married after 6 months. Like, what is wrong with you? But I guess we'll get to see a little more of that in episode 7 to 9 when he goes back to SZA, who is his original partner. So Aiden and Lebo, they have dinner with Tabby and Lindile. Aiden and Lebo, they just still friends. They cute, they chilling, they not really, rocking the boat. Tabby says, she likes the cuddling and the hand holding. And Aiden's like, he wasn't open to the whole thing initially. Aiden, I don't think that you guys were open at all, but that's just my opinion. Tabby's kind of worried that she's gonna lose the connection that her and Genesis have. Now that I don't know if it's so much on his end, but definitely on hers. Lindile is definitely giving her something to think about. So Labo is judging just a little bit. She don't know what they've allowed for. She's talking about Tabby and Genesis and their relationship as far as the experiment goes. And really it's none of her business. But Labo, she's cool, but she's a little judgy. I think you can't bring your partner on this show and have unrealistic expectations or not really speak things out. And that honestly makes Lebo wonder what her ex is up to. And she's worried. Okay. Speaking of her ex, he's over there with Ruth. And she says she likes spending time with him. I said, Nola looks like a player from the Himalayas. Okay. I could not take him seriously. Like I said, I wanted more for Ruth. Lebo is such a sweet, I hate saying girl because they're grown women. Lebo is such a sweet woman. So I don't think she deserves somebody like Nola, and neither does Ruth. Lebo and Aiden decide to creep around in the middle of the night to see what the other couples are doing. A wrong road, honey, wrong road. So as they're peeking around the villa, she stops at Ruth and Nola's. I said, yikes. If you have not been here before, that is my favorite word, y'all, okay? Yikes. They're looking at something on the phone, and this kind of sends Lebo into a tailspin. So Ruth goes outside because it's a little bit of commotion, and Lebo is feeling jealous. Now, these are her words, but I do not disagree. Nola denies the hand holding, but not Ruth. She's like, yeah, no, we were holding hands. The people being this close in proximity is a problem for me. I have vague remembrance of seasons 1 and 2, I believe, of the Ultimatum. I don't think maybe they were in the same building, but the villas are so close that you can walk over to it. I was like, I just already knew. Lebo, she stays a little too long, and Ruth is, she's feeling uncomfortable, and Nola is kind of gaslight city. He's telling her to trust the process. We get hugs. And the confessional, she says she should have talked about boundaries. Yeah, girl. Again, that's what I was just about to get into. I feel like some people come on here, and I don't know how, because we already had two seasons of the Ultimatum. I don't know where the recording came in. So maybe this was being recorded at the same time that the other two are being recorded, because Netflix does like to do that with some of their shows like Love is Blind. So maybe she didn't get to see it actually play out. But in any case, like I said in my first recap, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So for you to bring your man on here and not have a conversation about boundaries and what was going to be acceptable and not being acceptable, you kind of dropped the ball here. Like I said, it could not be me. So Kay, Aiden, and Genesis, they kind of go for a run, and they're discussing the process. Afterwards, they're sitting there talking. Courtney is having a hard time warming up, and Genesis feels like they're focusing too much on their exes, which is fair. Aiden says you can get intimate in more than one way, and he says he and Lebo have, and I agree with that. You don't have to be physical, even if you don't want to kiss. But I feel like with Courtney, maybe Aiden kind of got intimate without, because I feel like they did a little bit of maybe hand holding, and they were very, very sweet, very cool, but very much giving friendship. I don't know if Courtney even really gave Genesis that much energy. So Kay wonders if Kanya is enough. Is he losing himself in the process? Is she taking him for granted? Sir, okay. You better prioritize yourself and self-care and learning to love yourself. So Aiden says he thinks, there's always going to be things. Very, very true. In relationships, there's always going to be things. Kay says, but oh, my eyes. It's how you solve the problems, I think, is what Kay was trying to allude to. And I totally agree with that, because everybody's going to have issues. Everybody's going to have things they don't like about their relationship or their partner. Even if you feel like you've chosen the right partner, there's still going to be things to work through, and that's just fine. But you guys kind of have to be on the same page, willing to work with each other, willing to work for things, and willing to solve the problem, and not one of you be a spoiled brat like Miss Kanya is. Now, again, I got hella notes. We're already 10 minutes in and we're not even through episode 4. So just stick with me. I feel like I have more notes from 4 to 6 than I did 1 to 3, because 1 to 3, not that 4 to 6 is not a lot of minutia, but 1 to 3 to me was like a lot of minutia. Like, we needed to get down to the business. We need to get to the couples, old couples, new couples, you know, the thing of a thing. So let me take a little sip of my drink. So Ruth says that she likes Nola, but she didn't like how he tried to minimize the things that have gone on between the two of them the night that Labo came spying on them. And she feels like, in his mind, if things don't work out between the two of them, he'll have Labo to fall back on. I would agree with that one, sister. So Kanya and Isaac are enjoying each other's company. But then when they go back outside, we see her ex, Kay, with his new partner, SZA. She's a little jealous. She's a lot of jealous, because that woman is a hot mess, y'all. And she's talking about, isn't she too heavy? Because, you know, she was kind of like jumping on his back. Isn't she too heavy to be? I said, ma'am, not you have an issue with her weight. And she was fat shaming her later on in episodes, I think 5 and 6. Might have been episode 4 too. I'm not too sure. So Lindile and Tabby also come outside, and they, you know, see homegirl SZA on Kay's back, and, you know, he's picking her up, and Lindile, he's getting a little hot and, you know, spicy. But Tabby's like, so I think she kind of takes him back. I was like, but we're doing the same thing. He's like, but I don't like how they doing it all out in the open. Like, if we inside and we holding hands, do whatever, we doing what we doing, but we not out for all to see. So I guess, you know, the two couples kind of feel like they were putting on a show. I mean, I guess you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about it. But SZA and Kay, they're just having a good time, and she's worried that she's falling for him, baby. I got to see what happens when she gets back with Mr. Genesis, because watching Mr. Genesis and Courtney, I wasn't impressed. So speaking of Courtney and Genesis, Courtney says she and Genesis are not on the same page as far as the trial marriage goes. I said, then girl, why are you even here? He asked her if she's being fair to herself, and I get it, because like I said, I don't feel like she's giving in to anything in this experiment. They left on episode 6 having, you know, a great friendship, being best friends. But let me try to speed it up, because we got to get to all the drama that the end of episode 5 and 6 is going to give us. So Isaac takes Kanya to meet someone in his family. It's his cousin and his best friend. I said, now, Isaac, I know you effing lying. You take this lady to meet your family after, I think they're on week 2, when Ruth ain't met a single solitary soul, according to her, and the whole time y'all been together, which is 2 years. Let me remind you, 2 years. And he says he doesn't, no, Ruth, rewind. He says she, meaning Ruth, doesn't have that something to bring her home. Child, yikes. Okay, abort mission. Ruth, like I said, you deserve better. You stayed with this man for 2 years and dealt with his garbage. Now you got Nola. He's a piece of crap. Kanya, I think, is also kind of shocked, but I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if she had rubbed it in her face a little more. She didn't really. I would have thought she did more. That Ruth hasn't met anyone in his family. So Isaac is, you know, trying to explain to the family how the experiment worked. But honestly, I don't know why Ruth bought him, because why would you want to marry a man that you don't trust? Like, you think this man could be married. He don't want you to meet his family. He don't want you to call. He don't want you to know where he lives. Again, I do have my red flag, but y'all can't see me. So I'm waving my big red flag for Isaac, okay? And Isaac wants to be a victim by the end of episodes 5 and 6. So one of them is asking her a lot of questions about cooking. I said, really, sir? Really? But clearly Isaac also has a problem with making his own food, which we'll learn later that Isaac don't really know how to cook, and that's why he's kind of frustrated with her cooking. So I said, how are y'all eating? Are y'all getting takeout? Because I see y'all eating food, so I don't know how they're eating. Let me know if I missed that. So Aiden meets Labo's friends, and her friend is Confusion. And judging by her snooping on her man, I don't think it was a good decision for Label to even bring him here. So she says she brought him here for his communication skills, baby, a therapist, pre-marriage counseling, if you will, but not the ultimatum. This was the wrong place, Label. I feel for you, baby. You had no clue. So Kanye is worried if Isaac will be able to keep up all the great things he was doing in the first week. Spoiler alert, he has not. He asked her about marriage, and she said she's not even sure she wants to get married. Didn't you bring your man on here, ma'am? What you mean you're not sure? And she said she doesn't want to have a baby without being married. So I guess, that's the whole kind of reason why she even wants to get married. I guess she wants to have a baby. So this group of people, I'm just so lost, in my opinion. It's it makes for a good show, but this bunch is really a mess.com. And she's like, she don't want to be a super moment combined with a mom. Ma'am, okay. You know. And she told him, because he's kind of asking, like, what do you bring to the table? And she's like, I am the table. I know that's right. Now, I'm not here for Kanye's shenanigans, but I hate when men ask that. Sir, what do you bring to the table? You share with you go first. You tell me what you bring to the table, and then maybe, just maybe, I'll tell you what I bring to the table. But if you chosen to date me, you picked her. He picked her. Because Label picked him, and he gonna meet up with Label in a little while. Label picked him, but he picked Kanye. Should have gone with Label. But if you picked her, same way you picked her and you picked your partner, you should see my value. You should know what I bring to the table. You shouldn't have to turn and ask me. So again, not with her shenanigans, but I was with her on this one. So, like I said, again, I don't know if these two slept together, but I feel like the excitement has worn off, if you will. Now later on, he gets home and he asks if she had company, because there's several dishes in the sink. That kitchen was looking a hot ass mess. And now he's partially frustrated that she didn't clean up behind herself, but also, like I said, he feels like she used so many plates. Like, you had a plate for each, entree, appetizers, or had your vegetables on one plate. So she keeps asking, like, who asked you to wash the dishes? But who asked you to wash? She's so dramatic and overly confrontational. So Courtney and Genesis, Ruth, Nola, and SZA and Kay, they do like couples yoga. Genesis, she talks to Nola, and he says he's growing from the experience. Okay. SZA and Ruth talk, and she says she's considering leaving Lindile for Kay. I really, really got to see what Lindile is hitting for when him and SZA get back together, baby, because Lord. And that's what I have in my notes too. I cannot wait to see when these people get back together with their original partners. So Ruth says Isaac is not fun at all. She feels free and comfortable with Nola, baby. Oof, okay. Laugh the drawers right on off you. So Kate and Courtney, they speak, but she says it doesn't seem like they're on the same page. She tells her he can't be. Courtney tells him he can't keep being Kanye's punching bag. So she says when they finally let it go, they can both find happiness. I kind of agree with that, because what is a relationship if you're miserable? So now we get to the juice that is going to be episode 5. So episode 5 is going out with a bang into episode 6. We're going to try to get through this as quickly as possible, because I didn't mean to make this one super long since I was able to make the other one so short. So Isaac is so frustrated that he goes over to where Tabby and Lindile are staying to talk to Lindile. And he tells him about, the what does she bring to the table conversation. So Tabby decides, like, since Isaac is talking to Lindile, she's gonna go pay Kanye a visit while the fellas are talking. Now, this was the one person that I did see Kanye get along with, because she, like I said, ma'am does not play nice in the sandbox. She don't like the men's, she don't like the women, but I guess, her and Tabby was cool. So she says they're not on the same page. This is Kanye. She says they're not on the same page as to what a girlfriend / a wife is. And she says, he's incapable of taking care of her. The first week they went halvesies on groceries. The next Sunday she went to church, and he has not made himself available to do the shopping or ask what it is she needs. Mama ain't trying to pay for no groceries. Later on, they trying to call her a gold digger. But I mean, those are things that need to be ironed out. I'm not really so much into gender roles, if you will, but those are just things you need to discuss between two people, because I believe whatever two people will accept or want from their relationship is what they want from their relationship. So that's in terms of finances, how you want to be treated, all of those things. That's just my personal opinion. So Tabby's like, I think she said in the confessional that they started on a high note and now they're sinking. And then he's just kind of talking to Lindy like, she don't cook, she don't clean, but let me say, okay. So the ladies decide that they're going to walk on over and join the fellas, and Isaac offers to fix Kanya's plate. Now, Lindile cook, and this is when we find out that Isaac doesn't know how to cook, and I think he said his mom cooks for him, and Kanya's like, you mismarry your mom then. Sometimes this be right, okay? You can't marry your mom. I know that. I'm just saying, So, because she says, you're looking for a woman to take care of, no. He says he's looking for a woman to take care of him as much as he takes care of her, but Kanye's like, no. You're looking for somebody to be your mom, which I kind of agree. So they got 1 week until the changeover. Ruth takes Nola to meet her siblings, and she tells them, she could be her crazy ass self, her personality and everything with him. And her sister's basically like, yeah, that could be what's called a fleeting moment. Like, you're happy 1 minute and you're, the next you're not. She's annoyed that she hasn't met Isaac's family. He doesn't make her laugh, or he doesn't laugh with her. There's no laughing. I said, Isaac, really, sir? You don't want her to meet the family, and you don't even tickle her funny bone? You can get a lot from a woman if you can make her laugh. I'm just saying. And she whispers to one of her friends that they have intimacy issues, okay? The sex is not sexing, if you will. I said, yes. No wonder Ruth is letting Nola knock the walls down, okay? So Nola tells Nola is telling them that Label has issues with him flirting, but he feels like he's not a flirt at all. Ruth is like, no, you're a flirt, dude. So one of Ruth's siblings / friends asks, would he rather be with Ruth or his original partner? He kind of beats around the bush, and then he says that it's been a happy 2 weeks with Ruth, so he choose Ruth. But the sister in the confessional is like, I'm not buying it. And Nola is indeed full of shit. He gonna tell one lady one thing and one lady the other thing to kind of try to keep them both hanging on, which later on he says he don't do, but that's exactly what he does. So Courtney and Genesis, they have a date night, and I don't even know why Courtney came on the show. Like I said, the yoga kind of brought them up closer, and she says that she's willing to open up a little bit more, but I am not buying it, and we did not see it. Lindile meets Tabby's family, and he's nervous, and that's understandable. So, they're explaining the experiment again, because I guess they didn't tell these people they were going on the show. So surprise, surprise. Or maybe they're just required to for the show. Her family is both looking at both of them like they're absolutely crazy, which most families do. Love is blind. The ultimatum especially, okay? But yeah, you come with one partner and then you pop up with another dude like, hey, this is my husband for 3 weeks. Your husband. So she says she feels like Genesis is making excuses, and she intended to come there and leave engage with him, but she's been having such a great time with Lindile. She tells them, all of his positive attributes, but one of her friends is like, y'all are really living in a bubble. And they kind of are, because once you get out of the bubble and, even like I said, with Love is Blind, you got to go into the real world. The real world affects some things, okay? So they talk about finances, and I forgot he was an actor. That's one strike for Lindile. He's an actor, but he says he has a lot of side gigs. I don't think the family like that. It kind of, like I said, it was a strike for me. Her big sister's like, she's worried if his intentions are sincere. And I'm just glad she said it to his face. Like, you're going to say it with your chest. Her friend cheers to them in their confusion and hollered. I said, not to them in their confusion. It is quite a situationship, okay? So, Kay introduces SZA to his mom over Zoom. And mom says Kanya cannot control her emotions and her son is traumatized. They talk a little bit more, and I said, I don't know if the mom really liked her, if she was being nice, but one thing I did know is that she was not a fan of Miss Kanya, baby, okay? So Isaac decides to go pop up on Labo and meet with her, kind of wants to apologize for rejecting her, if you will. She's like, it's not that deep, but, I bet he's regretting it with that woman he ended up with. He said he had the best time with her. So did you choose old girl because of the aesthetics? Because Labo is a full figure woman. She's beautiful within her own right. There's nothing wrong with her. Just Kanya is a little smaller and she tends to fat shame people herself. So maybe he wanted something different in that respect. You can get down in the comments and let me know if you agree. He tells her that Kanya is in her own world very selfish. In her confessional, she says she saw it coming. I said, girl, we did too. So Lindile invited Aiden and Nola over, and he was talking about things going well with him and Tabby, but he's not sure what his final decision will be. Nola asked if they kissed, and he's like, yes, I'm sure you, Ruth, have also kissed. So Nola's like, he wants to know if they did more. And then I think Lindile is like, he just don't want to be the only one have done some stuff he have no business doing. So Lindile asks, does he see himself with Ruth outside of here? And Nola says, like, he realized that he really loves Labo and he wants to leave with her. And Aiden, the confessional, Aiden is not buying it at all. I said, Aiden, you got a good eye, sir. But he keeps talking and he kind of lets on to more has happened with him and Ruth. And I said, did he just call it a situationship? But okay, he lies and tells them that he and Ruth didn't kiss initially. He says he's going to marry Labo. Man, Nola ain't ish, but I had that feeling. So Aiden runs it back to Labo, and he's like, I don't think Nola's being honest. And she's like, I need to ask him myself. I said, no. So Nola runs back to Ruth and says, I think this is the next day. I can't really remember. He wants to have sex all day. But in his confessional, he says he is not playing both Labo and Ruth. He just wants to enjoy the moment. And Ruth says she doesn't see it as cheating because they broke up. Yeah, whatever. Girl, you can see it how you can see it. Everybody should have had a clear conversation before we got there. So Kay is enjoying SZA. They're having a good time. Ain't really too much to report on these two, I have to be honest. So they're going to have, the girls are going to meet up and have a girls' night. The fellas are going to meet up and they're going to have, their hangout session, and it's about to get messy. Messy, okay? Just like we knew this show was going to be. So, they're talking, they're asking a bunch of questions, and Tabby talks about Lindile meeting her family, and the family constantly bringing up Genesis. Again, it's kind of weird for a family. I've seen you with a man for this amount of time. Now you bring somebody else, and Harpo, who is this man? So Kanya asks SZA, who'd you meet in Kay's family? She's like, his mom. And Kanya kind of dismisses it. She was like, I thought she was in Saudi Arabia. She was like, it was on video call. So she's just being dismissive. Like, oh, well, you didn't meet her in person. In her confessional, she calls her goofy, boom, boom, fatty, boom. Again, yikes. This is where we start with the fat shaming from Kanya, okay? Because, again, I like the representation on this show. We have brown women, we have dark women, we have light women, we have thin women, we have curvy women. I just love to see it, okay? So SZA she's a curvy woman. She's giving you them curves, okay? So Isaac says he hasn't seen Nola since the pairing, to which he says, your woman been keeping me locked up. So y'all's gonna get messy. Ruth asks Kanya who she met, and she says Isaac's cousin, which naturally pisses Ruth off. So Kanya wants to know what stopped her from meeting the family, and Ruth's like, I feel like he has a lot to hide. And Ruth says basically, she's beautiful, she deserves better. Sis, you do. Lindile says Nola won't gain anything out of the experiment. I said, how do y'all can just reading this man for filth just from one look? I guess it's from him talking. He's, I guess, giving you car salesman, if you will. So Nola looks right over at Isaac and says, man, he didn't smash yet. And he's not planning on it. The lies, the lies. I need some soundtracks. So Courtney asked Ruth about Nola, and she's like, not too far. Moderate. Girl, what is moderate? It was cute, but she admits to more in the confessional, but she says she is considering Label's feeling for the moment because it's going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2. So Genesis asks who bangs. So far, they're giving Noah all around. The women are kind of asking the same question, but they're kind of like, oh, who want all the way? We asking the same question in a different way. So SZA says, not yet. Kanya reveals that she and Kay haven't had sex in a while. So if he did anything with you, it's because he's horny. And SZA asks, like, well, why haven't y'all had sex? And Kanye's like, ask him. She's like, but you the one who, girl, fine. Like, you the one who said it. So Kay admits that he wanted to give her that action to the fellas, but he refrained. So Kanye says Isaac has seen her naked, but no sex. Like, one is in the tub, one is in the shower. That's why I really think they did something. Isaac said he could take her home, but she has to leave in the morning. She is not wife material. I said, ooh. Kay says, if Kanye ain't happy, okay, when they say happy wife, happy life, happy spouse, happy house, and he's just looking for peace. So Isaac asks, like, is she a gold digger? And Kay's like, I ain't say she a gold digger, but she ain't met. So he essentially says she won't be happy without a lot of money. Tabby talks about Lindile seeing SZA and it ruining his mood. And then they start talking about, SZA and the laughing because they felt like it was for show, and Kay laughing. And Kanye's like, yeah, but that laugh he's giving was fake. I said, ooh. So Ruth in the confessional says Kanye is jealous and she doesn't know, like, she doesn't like how she's treating SZA. SZA ain't really done nothing. And Kanye even is trying to encourage the connection between Tabby and Lindile again. That's just all to get at SZA. But we almost at the end of episode 5, but now we are heating it up. Okay, I know it's been 30 minutes. We're heating it up. Ruth doesn't want to confess what happened with Nola in front of the group. She says she'd like to have a private conversation with Lebo. I said, and that says everything. So now you just told the whole group that you did something with her man without saying it. Okay. What we don't say says enough, okay? Silence can be loud. So Isaac talks to Nola. They off to the side, like at the bar, and he denies intimacy. And he says, well, Ruth will call him and say that she misses him. And Isaac is like, well, Label had planned to do something for me for my birthday if we had, chose each other as each other's partners. And I'm like, you just did that at the dig, sir. And I was like, okay, this is about to get ugly. So Ruth does have this private conversation with Label, and she says that she wants to hear everything before she makes a decision, because Ruth was like giving a disclaimer, like, girl, like, yay or nay, it's whatever you want to do. So Ruth says that she and Nola have had sex not once, not twice, not thrice. So Label kind of thanks her and she walks out, because what else was there to say? That was a lot. And that is the end of our episode 5. Episode 6, her feelings are hurt. She's disappointed. Couples go back to their new partners at the villa. Label goes to pay Nola a visit, okay? Nola's like, who said that? Who said that? Label thinks maybe they had planned to live together, and then Ruth steps out the bathroom to see her there. She was like, oh, shit. So he turns to Ruth and asks her, why are you joking with her like that? I said, oh, not you joking. Ooh, Label. Disgusting, okay? Disgusting. So Label heads out, and he is right behind her, like on her heels. Label is pissed, and he says, like, in the confessional, he has to protect her feelings. So they take this into where Label was staying, because like I said, Label is walking, and homeboy Nola is following. Aiden is confusion, like, what is going on? Aiden is he's like trying to help, and no, Aiden Nola is looking to Aiden for help, and Aiden's like, nah, bro, like, I can't support you on that one, trying to like go over what they talked about, but you lied and he didn't believe you no way. So they're outside a little bit. Nola is apologizing and Label is hollering so everybody can hear her. People start to come outside and peek. I think it was SZA and Kay were outside, and then they kind of decided, like, let's go mind our business. Which I've been outside. I'd have been outside minding their business too, vacuuming outside in the dark, if you will. So Aiden comes to break it up, and he's like, let's just go sleep it off. Like, she's annoyed. Like, we're not gonna get anywhere. So Nola isn't listening. He says he made a mistake. So finally, Nola goes home, in my air quotes, and asks Ruth, like, why would you do that? He's like, I purposely didn't say anything to Isaac. And Ruth, she's just looking at him. So she's like, well, what was your plan exactly? And no sooner than she says that, Label is right in that door with Aiden behind her. I said, poor Aiden. He really trying to be a friend and diffuse the situation. So Ruth was like, nah, he just wanted me to, because I think Label thought like he was running to try to make amends. And Ruth's like, no, he wanted to ask me why I told you that. So Nola's like, I want to call Isaac and tell him, because he's mad. He's mad. So now he's ready to, if I want to tell it, then I got to tell it all. I said, sir. Label's like, no, don't do that. So she's trying to get the phone away from him. But he calls Isaac and tells him to come to the villa. And I said, we're going to need security. So Isaac walks in and Ruth's face is priceless. Label says, you like to drag people into your mess. So Aiden starts, to share, but Nola's like, Aiden starts to share, but Nola says, Isaac, Ruth and I had sex, bro. Oh, now you agreeing, Label says. I said, yep, but you was just saying that Ruth was telling a lie on you. So Isaac kind of like, we're all over the place at this point. He goes outside. He's like, I knew it. But like I said, I felt like you slept with Kanye. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. So there's just words. We're going back and forth and back. Label is calling him a cheater. But ma'am, again, you brought him here and you did not set up any rules or parameters. Isaac steady saying he knew it. They haven't talked since the pairing. Not even a word for his birthday. Ruth's like, I don't give a F. She's like, she made her decision. Aiden sits with Ruth after Isaac leaves. So now Label is following Nola and Isaac is behind, okay? So Isaac's like, you didn't even say sorry. And Nola's like, Label's the one who's owed an apology. So Isaac is kind of like disagrees. He's like, you don't think you owe me an apology? We're getting loud and escalated. That's where this is going. And then we get to shoving, and then there's security. Like I told you, there would be. Kudos to the security team. So Nola is like, Ruth is the one who owes Isaac an apology. I agree on that. But, bro code, you sat and lied in a man's face. The least you could say was, I'm sorry. Don't really cost you nothing. Back in the villa, Isaac is annoyed that Kanye didn't tell him, because he's like, you knew something you didn't tell me. So she's laughing, but she's like, what are you talking about? So he goes and lays in the bed with the covers over his head, child. Ruth doesn't want Label to feel like she stabbed her in the back, and she says that Nola is a crook and he had to be exposed, all the while throwing his clothes outside. Baby, I'm just giving you the breakdown. I don't even know if I got into any of my real feelings with the situation. So Label is destroyed. Aiden is trying his best to comfort her. She's like, if she stays, she'll be mad at herself. Nola, kind of expected to end the trial marriage on a high note. We did not. SZA is talking to, we get a little break from them. We get to SZA and Kay, because they're going to give us a little drama there. She's talking about what Kanye said about him using her and everything and calling her easy. She can't understand, why he's with her and like why she's like that. So he's encouraging her to go talk to Kanye and tell her how she feels. Sir, let me take a sip of my drink on that one. So they walk over to her villa, and SZA sits without Kanye's permission. Let's throw that in there. And Kay leaves her. I said, sir, really? Because this is stupid. Because if you was going to leave, why did you walk over there with her? She thought you was going to stay, and you just gone with the wind, okay? Kanye feels disrespected and tells her and her fat bum to leave. I mean, she said it a couple times in a couple of different ways, and I was just like, oh my God. So SZA laughs, and Kanye's like, you're being ratchet, you're being a hood rat. And she starts shouting and she's pointing, leave. So SZA is getting up to leave. She just looked hella uncomfortable. Child, she gets back and she asks him, like, she's laughing, but it was more of an uncomfortable laughter. Like, did you want her to beat me up? Like, why did you leave? So now she's getting visibly upset. Sis is like, you want me to do your job for you, like on your behalf. He's kind of was saying in the confessional, like if he stayed, it would have been about him. And she's like, she's annoyed. And so basically, if you weren't going to stay, you could have just answered the questions that I was asking you instead of telling me to go over there and deal with this lady. So she feels used. He says, regardless of what it was, you're going to have to stand up for yourself. And she's like, if you can't deal with her, how do you expect me to deal with her? So she's mean. She's mean. Like I said, you can tell that laughter was, yeah. So he hugs her, but she's like, I just need a minute. So he goes. So Kay decides he can walk his ass over there to talk to Kanya. And she's shouting and asking, why are you here? Why are you here? Go stand outside. Go. Baby, the way that this woman, like I said, she's not a real person. And the way she gives people commands is like she's talking to an animal. Not even an animal, just ridiculous. So she's like, you and your goofy boom boom are disrespectful. So Isaac is watching it. He finds the whole thing disrespectful. I just know he wishes he had gone to do his 3 weeks with Labo, because this is, she's just a despicable person. So he goes back and he apologizes to SZA at 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning, Kanye is waking Isaac up to rant about not taking Kay back. Girl. So the next day, Lebo, thought coming there would help the relationship. Nola promised her he wouldn't do anything to sabotage their relationship. I'm like, guess not. Nola says he betrayed Lebo, but he doesn't regret it. Marinate on that one for a minute, if you will. So after everything, he decided to walk away from the experiment. Lebo says she doesn't regret the experiment, but she says, she needs to forgive herself, and she and Nola are over. This, you deserve so much better than this clown. I wish I didn't look so crazy and I would be on screen with my clown nose, okay? So, the hosts come to us and they say 2 of the couples face a difficult situation, but self-care is priority. Nola and Lebo have taken a break from each other and the experiment. Hallelujah, praise be to, okay? Ruth and Aiden will live alone, and Isaac chose to stay with Kanya until the changeover. Now, mind you, the changeover at this point is in 2 days, but I don't know why he want to stay with Kanya and her jankety behind. But Isaac goes to speak to Aiden. They're kind of talking about forgiveness to see if he can forgive her, all of the things. And I guess we're going to have to see. Aiden said he's tried to reach out to Ruth, but, hasn't heard from her. Not Ruth. Lebo. Ruth said she had a great time with Nola until, well, SZA, she forgives Kay. They have one special final date, and Kay is now dreading how Kanya may treat him. Sir, you already know. You know who you with, and you already know how she's about to treat you. So Tabby and Lindile, they spend their last night together. They're both a little sad. He says he's in love with Tabby in his confessional. Courtney and Genesis, do we even really care? He brings her flowers. They've created a friendship. Yeah, period. The end. Again, I don't feel like Courtney or Aiden put their all into the experiment, and I feel like they kind of had their walls up, in my opinion. Like, you didn't have to be intimate, but I don't think Courtney really gave, it anything. So now we're here for the changeover. Their 3-week trial marriage is over, and now they will do 3 weeks with their original partner. So the hosts meet up with the couples, except for Lebo and Nola, of course. They're kind of checking in with the couples. They address the Lebo and Nola thing briefly. Aiden is excited to go back to Courtney. Why wouldn't he be? He realizes what he has. And says, I think she says, sometimes they take each other for granted, and she wants to kind of return to doing the things, the loving things that they used to do. Genesis says, originally it was uncomfortable and emotionally frustrating to realize that he may be losing someone. Tabby feels she made a good decision to give him the ultimatum. She thanks Lindile for how he treated her. They asked Lindile if he still wants to get married, and he says, he's on the fence and he may not be ready for marriage. SZA says the 3 weeks were great. She didn't expect to come here and match up with somebody else. Kay's he says he's learned self-love and how to give somebody. Kay says he's learned self-love and how to give to somebody that wants to fill his cup. Oof. I felt that one. They asked Kanye if she taught Isaac anything, and she's like, I definitely taught him some things, maybe now, maybe later, blah, 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 blah. He says they had a good time, they laughed, they talked, but other things could have been better. She don't really care. She said the first week was amazing. The second week, she established that that's not the type of guy she wants to be in a relationship with or to be married to one day. She didn't see herself pursuing anything, so she didn't see the point in investing in a relationship, and that's exactly what she gave. They asked Isaac how he feels about the next phase of marriage with Ruth, and he says he doesn't know. With everything that happened this week, he's not sure where they stand with that. Ruth is not expecting much going forward, and she's upset. She says he knew how he felt going into the trial marriage, but he never reached out to her to speak to her and spoke to others. It's a whole lot of conversation. She says she's felt alone. Meanwhile, Isaac is sitting there rolling his eyes, talking about she is trying to embarrass him. These two probably should just leave also. Whatever she chose to do is not on him, he says, and he's not going to accept that. Sir, I get that. I don't really trust you fully, but you're not about to sit here and be a victim. So they ask if there are any last words, and Kanye says she is not excited to spend the next 3 weeks with Kay. He makes her sick to her stomach. His confessional, he says nothing has changed, and that is where the episode ends. Baby, that was 4 to 6. It's only going to get even more juicy from here as they switch and have to deal with the repercussions of what they have and haven't done with their trial partner, and I cannot wait to get these next 3 episodes, y'all. Woo! Like I said, I know I'm being repetitive. This show, it's for my entertainment. It's for our entertainment, but is this something that you should really be doing with somebody you actually really, really want to marry? And then if you do it, you get on there and you don't discuss the parameters. Ruth deserves better. Labo deserves better. I hope that Labo and Nola are just quits. Ruth and Isaac also need to be quits. I think Courtney and Aiden could work it out. And everyone else, Kanya and Kay need to call it quits, but I don't know if I want to swap partners or not. The other two I'm not so sure about. Let me just flip through them really quickly before I get off of here. Oh, child, whole time. If it ain't one thing, it's another. It's kind of late now, but I'll put it up anyway. I forgot to put up my banner that says this is alleged. So guys, if you're seeing the video, like the video, comment in the comments section, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel. Remember, this is all alleged or alleged. Turn on your notifications, all the good things. We're going to get into that in a minute anyway. But I just realized I forgot to put that up there. So Tabby and Genesis, I'm not too sure if these two should stay together. I don't think it would be the worst thing. I kind of do like Tabby with Lindile, but that's just a personal side. Kanya and K run. I don't know if you and SZA are going to be it. It's right, but she's a no. No, both of you. And X. Labo and that, no. And Courtney and Aiden, yes. I don't really even know if I understand what your issues were to begin with. SZA, Kile, and Lindile. Yeah, that's up to them. Like I said, I have to see what it looks like when the two of them get together and do their 3 weeks and see what, his flaws and all of the things are, because you know how they like to do. Oh, I appreciate you guys coming through. Music free for a minute. I appreciate you guys coming through and sticking with me and supporting me as I break this up into 3 parts. Like I said, I know they released all 9 on one day, and we've kind of have been a whole week with 9 episodes, and I'm only getting the first 6 up to you guys. I plan to get the next 3 up for Sunday, so pop on by and pay your girl a visit. Make sure that you are, like I said, leaving a comment, liking the video, sharing the video, turning on your notifications, all of the things, sharing the video where you're sharing your videos. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I appreciate you. I am trying to get to 500 by June 1st. I know it is right around the corner, so we can do what we can do, but we can try. Please be sure to check out some of my other content that I have available on my channel. Like I said, if you're into reality TV, Summer House Martha's Vineyard recap is up. Tomorrow night I will have up the latest on the Never Ever Mets, which is another crazy reality series. And then join me Sunday as I wrap this thing up and look forward to what the reunion is going to bring us, baby, because it's mess on mess on mess. You got 30 minutes in the first one, 50 in this one. I appreciate you guys ever so much, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.